23 years. That is how long Iris Thorne had been invisible. 23 years of swallowing her sister's cruelty. 23 years of shrinking into corners and believing she deserved to be forgotten. But tonight, everything she thought she knew about herself would be destroyed. Because the most feared vampire in existence, the king who held grudges across centuries, who crushed enemies without mercy and never forgot a wrong done to him or those he loved, was about to look across a crowded ballroom and see her. Really see her. And once Dante Valerian decided something belonged to him, nothing in this world or the next could stop him from claiming it. "No one will notice you," her sister whispered with a smile sharper than knives, but when the Vampire King's eyes found hers across the crowded hall, the entire world stopped breathing. Iris had learned to take up less space. It was a skill she had perfected over 23 years of living in her sister's shadow. She stood now in front of the mirror in a dress Vivian had called tragically simple, her hands smoothing fabric that suddenly felt all wrong. The Crescent Moon Gala was not just any event. It was the event. 5 supernatural families. Ancient bloodlines. And the Vampire King himself would be there. Vivian swept into the room like she owned every inch of air, her crimson dress a declaration of war against subtlety. She smelled of jasmine and ambition. Her smile was perfect as she looked Iris up and down with those assessing eyes that had judged her lacking since childhood. "No one will notice you," Vivian said, her voice silk wrapped around a blade. "You know that, right? I'm not being cruel, I'm being honest. You have that look. That forgettable look." Iris said nothing. She had learned long ago that defending herself only fed Vivian's cruelty. She turned away from the mirror. "It's fine," Iris replied quietly. "I'm not going to be noticed. I'm just going." Vivian laughed, a sound like breaking crystal. "That's the spirit. Low expectations. You'll blend into the wallpaper, and I'll do what I do best." "What's that?" Iris asked, hating herself for taking the bait. "Be unforgettable," Vivian said, and walked out, leaving the scent of jasmine and the weight of worthlessness behind. 200 miles north, in a mansion that had seen centuries of blood and power, the Vampire King stood in front of a window and hated every single person he would have to endure tonight. Dante Valerian was not a man who enjoyed performing. But the Crescent Moon Gala was politics, and politics kept the fragile peace between the families from shattering into war. "Your tie," his brother Elias said from the doorway, "is crooked. You look like you're about to murder someone." Dante smiled without warmth. "The night is young, brother. Give me time." Elias walked in, fixing Dante's tie with the familiarity of someone who had done this for 300 years. "You know you could try enjoying yourself. Smile. Pretend you don't think everyone there is beneath you." "I don't think they're beneath me," Dante said. "I know they are. There's a difference. This is why people fear you." "Good," Dante replied. "Fear is honest. These galas are full of liars wearing expensive clothes, trying to get close enough to ask for favors or form alliances. It's exhausting." Elias stepped back, studying his brother. "You've been alive for 8 centuries, Dante. You've built an empire. You've crushed enemies and protected this family across generations. Maybe tonight, just once, let yourself be something other than the monster they whisper about." Dante turned from the window, his eyes dark and unreadable. "I am the monster they whisper about, Elias. That's what keeps us alive. The moment I soften, the moment I let them think I'm anything less than brutal, someone will try to destroy what we've built. I don't forget. I don't forgive. And I certainly don't pretend to be anything other than what I am." Elias sighed. "Then at least make the evening entertaining. Find someone interesting." "In a world full of performers," Dante said, walking toward the door, "interesting is extinct." But he was wrong. And in 3 hours, in a ballroom filled with the most powerful supernatural beings in the world, Dante Valerian would see her. And everything would change. If you made it this far and felt even a fraction of what Iris is feeling right now, don't just disappear like she's had to her whole life. Hit that subscribe button and let me know you're here. I spent hours crafting this story for you, and it takes you 1 second to subscribe, but it means the entire world to me. Also, I'm building the fastest growing vampire love stories community right here, and you belong in it. Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from because I genuinely want to know where in the world you're connecting with this story. Now here's something to think about. Have you ever had someone in your life who made you feel invisible? Tell me in the comments because Iris's journey is just beginning, and I think you're going to see yourself in what happens next. The Crescent Moon Gala was held in the Sanctuary, a cathedral-like ballroom with vaulted ceilings and chandeliers that dripped crystal and candlelight. Iris had never seen so many beautiful people in one place. Vampires, witches, shifters, all of them moving like they owned the very air they breathed. Vivian had disappeared within minutes, swept into a circle of admirers like she'd predicted. Iris stood near a marble column, holding a glass of champagne she hadn't sipped, trying to look purposeful while being completely invisible. She was good at it. Being invisible. Then the room shifted. She felt it before she understood it. A change in temperature, in energy. Conversations didn't stop, but they quieted, bodies turning subtly toward the grand staircase. He descended like a storm given human shape. The Vampire King was taller than she'd expected, dressed in black that seemed to absorb light. His face was beautiful in the way dangerous things often are, sharp and ancient and knowing. But it was his eyes that caught her. Dark, unreadable, and currently scanning the crowd with something close to boredom. Dante Valerian. 800 years old. Unkillable. Unforgiving. Iris looked away quickly, her heart doing something uncomfortable in her chest. She pressed closer to the column. Don't be seen. Don't be noticed. Across the ballroom, Dante reached the bottom step and was immediately swarmed. A witch in silver. A vampire in blue. All of them wanting something. His brother Elias appeared at his side, running interference with the practices of centuries. Dante smiled politely, said words that meant nothing, and let his gaze drift across the room. Performers. Every single one of them. Peacocks in designer clothes, displaying and preening and desperate for his attention. Then he saw her. She was half hidden behind a column, wearing a dress the color of midnight, her dark hair loose around her shoulders. But that wasn't what caught him. It was the way she held herself. Like she was trying to disappear. Like she had practiced it. Everyone else in this room was trying to be seen. She was trying to vanish. Dante tilted his head slightly, his interest sharpening. He watched as a woman in crimson, stunning and aware of it, swept past the girl behind the column without a glance. The girl flinched. Just slightly. Just enough. Sisters, Dante thought. He'd seen enough family cruelty to recognize it. The woman in crimson was immediately surrounded by admirers. The girl behind the column shrank further into the shadows. Something in Dante's chest tightened. It was unfamiliar and unwelcome. Elias was saying something about the Northern Covens, but Dante wasn't listening anymore. He was watching the girl who didn't want to be seen, and he was making a decision that would unravel both their worlds. He moved. The crowd parted without him asking. They always did. Dante crossed the ballroom with the fluid grace of a predator, his focus locked on the marble column and the girl hiding behind it. Iris saw him coming and her breath caught. No. No, he wasn't. He was walking towards someone behind her, someone important. But there was no one behind her. Only wall. Dante stopped 3 feet away. This close, she could see the gold flecks in his dark eyes, could feel the weight of his presence like gravity. He smiled. It was slow and deliberate and held a hint of something wicked. "Hello, love," he said, his voice carrying that faint accent she couldn't place, British maybe, layered with something older. "You look like you're trying very hard to become part of the architecture. I have to say, it's not working. You're far too interesting." Iris's mouth went dry. "I think you have me confused with someone else." "Do I?" Dante asked, his smile widening. "What's your name?" "Iris," she whispered. "Iris," he repeated, like he was tasting it. "I'm Dante." "But you knew that already, didn't you?" She nodded, unable to form words. "Good," he said. "Now, Iris, I need you to do something for me. Something very important." "What?" she managed. "Stop hiding," he said simply. "And dance with me." "I don't," she started, but he was already offering his hand. It wasn't a request. She placed her trembling hand in his, and the ballroom erupted into whispers. Every eye turned. Every conversation stopped. Dante led her to the center of the floor, and the orchestra, without needing instruction, began a waltz. His hand settled on her waist. Hers on his shoulder. They began to move. "You're shaking," he observed quietly. "Everyone's watching," Iris whispered. "I know," Dante said, and there was something fierce in his voice. "That's the point, love. Let them watch. Let them see you." "Why are you doing this?" she asked, her eyes searching his. Dante's expression shifted, something dangerous and protective crossing his features. "Because someone told you that you wouldn't be noticed tonight. And I have a rather famous inability to let injustices stand. Also," he added, his smile returning with the edge of dark humor, "I quite enjoy proving people wrong. Especially when they're cruel." Iris's breath hitched. "You don't know me." "Not yet," Dante agreed, spinning her with effortless precision. "But I know women like the one in crimson who walked past you like you didn't exist. I've spent 800 years watching people reveal themselves, Iris. And in 30 seconds, I learned more about you than I've learned about anyone in this room in 30 years. "What did you learn?" she whispered. "That you're brave enough to come here even knowing you'd be overlooked," Dante said, his voice dropping lower. "That you're kind enough not to retaliate against cruelty. And that you have no idea how captivating you are when you're not trying to disappear." The words landed in her chest like embers. Around them, the whispers grew louder. Iris caught sight of Vivian at the edge of the dance floor, her face a mask of shock and something uglier. "My sister," Iris started. "Is learning a very important lesson," Dante interrupted smoothly. "That underestimating people has consequences. Don't worry about her, love. Worry about keeping up with me. I'm an excellent dancer and a terrible show-off." Despite everything, despite the terror and confusion, Iris laughed. And Dante Valerian, the vampire king who hadn't been genuinely surprised in 2 centuries, felt something in his dead heart shift and catch. The dance ended, but Dante didn't release her hand. Instead, he led her off the floor toward one of the private balconies, away from the staring crowds. Iris followed, her mind screaming that this wasn't real, couldn't be real. The night air hit her face, cold and clarifying. She pulled her hand from his. "You need to stop," she said, her voice shaking. "Whatever this is. Whatever you're doing. Just stop." Dante leaned against the balcony railing, studying her with those ancient eyes. "What exactly do you think I'm doing, Iris?" "I don't know," she said, wrapping her arms around herself. "Making a point? Proving something? Using me to entertain yourself?" His expression darkened. "You think this is entertainment?" "What else could it be?" she shot back, finding her voice even as tears threatened. You don't know me. I'm no one. My sister was right. I'm forgettable. And you're the vampire king. This doesn't make sense. Dante pushed off the railing, closing the distance between them in one fluid movement. His voice dropped to something dangerous and intimate. Your sister is a vicious little creature who has spent years convincing you that you're less than you are. And I don't appreciate having my intentions questioned, love. When I do something, I do it because I want to. Not because I'm bored. Then what do you want? Iris demanded, hating how her voice broke. Honestly, Dante said, a flicker of confusion crossing his face, I'm not entirely sure yet. And that's terrifying for someone who always knows exactly what he wants. But I know what I saw in there. I saw someone brave and real in a room full of liars. I saw someone who has been made to feel invisible. And I have a rather pathological need to correct wrongs, especially when they offend me personally. This offends you personally? She asked. Yes, he said simply. It does. Before Iris could respond, the balcony door opened. Vivian stood there, her face composed but her eyes blazing. Iris, she said sweetly, too sweetly. I've been looking everywhere for you. I think we should go. You look overwhelmed. She looks fine, Dante said, not turning around. But you look upset. That's interesting. Vivian's smile tightened. Your Majesty, I apologize if my sister has taken up your time. She's not used to these events. I'm sure you have more important people to speak with. Dante turned now, and his expression made Vivian take a step back. Let me be very clear, he said, his voice carrying that edge of brutality that had made him feared for centuries. I decide who is worth my time. Not you. Your sister is fascinating. You are tedious. Now run along back to your admirers and think very carefully about how you speak about Iris going forward. I have an excellent memory, and I hold grudges across generations. It's a character flaw I've never bothered to fix. Vivian's face went pale. She looked at Iris with something close to hatred, then turned and left. Iris exhaled shakily. You didn't have to do that. Yes, Dante said, turning back to her. I did. She's been cruel to you for years, hasn't she? Iris said nothing, which was answer enough. Dante's jaw tightened. I meant what I said. I don't forget. I don't forgive. And I protect what's mine. I'm not yours, Iris whispered. Not yet, Dante said again, echoing his words from the dance floor. But you will be. If you'll let yourself believe you deserve to be seen. He reached out, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear, the gesture surprisingly gentle from someone so dangerous. Go home tonight, Iris. Think about what I said. And tomorrow, when you wake up and your sister tries to convince you this meant nothing, remember how it felt when an entire ballroom couldn't look away from you. What if I want to forget? Iris asked. Dante smiled, wicked and promising. Then I'll just have to remind you. Over and over. Until you believe it. He stepped back, giving her space. I'll see you soon, love. That's not a threat. It's a promise. And then he was gone, leaving Iris alone on the balcony, her heart racing and her entire world tilted off its axis. Iris thought she'd never see him again. Thought it was a beautiful, impossible moment that would fade into memory. She was wrong. 3 days after the gala, her apartment building caught fire. Not the whole building. Just her floor. Just her unit and the two beside it. Iris stood on the street in her pajamas at 2 a.m, wrapped in a blanket the firefighters had given her, watching smoke pour from her windows. Everything she owned was in there. Photos. Books. The few things that were hers and only hers. The fire chief approached, his face grim. "Miss Iris Thorne?" "Yes," she said numbly. "The fire started in your unit. Accelerant was used. This wasn't an accident. This was arson." The word hit her like cold water. "Who would?" she started, but then she knew. She knew exactly who. "Vivian." "Do you have somewhere to go?" the chief asked. "Family?" Iris almost laughed. "No. No family." "Then I suggest a hotel," he said gently. "We'll investigate, but for now, you can't stay here." Iris nodded, still staring at the smoke. She had maybe $200 in her bank account. A hotel wasn't an option for more than a night or two. "That won't be necessary," a familiar voice said from behind her. Iris turned, and there he was. Dante Valerian, at 2 a.m, dressed in dark jeans and a black shirt, looking like he'd simply materialized from shadows. "What are you doing here?" she breathed. "I own the building," Dante said casually. "Well, one of my companies does. I was notified of the fire. Imagine my surprise when I saw your name on the report." He looked past her at the burning apartment, his expression hardening. "Imagine my further displeasure when I learned it was arson." "You own this building," Iris repeated, still processing. "I own a lot of things, love," Dante said. "Right now, what matters is that you're safe and you need a place to stay." "I'll find a hotel," Iris said quickly. "No," Dante said, his tone leaving no room for argument. "You'll stay with me. I have 16 bedrooms, most of which have never been used. You'll take one until we sort this out." "I can't," Iris started. "You can," Dante interrupted. "And you will. Because whoever did this is escalating, and I don't take threats against people under my protection lightly." "I'm not under your protection," Iris said weakly. Dante stepped closer, his voice dropping. "Yes, Iris. You are. You became mine the moment I decided you were. Now stop arguing and get in the car. You're in pajamas, you're traumatized, and I'm not known for my patience at 2 a.m. Despite everything, Iris felt a laugh bubble up. "You're very bossy." "I'm a king, love," Dante said, his smile sharp. "It comes with the territory. Now come on. Let me take care of this. Let me take care of you." And because she had nowhere else to go, because she was tired and scared and so very alone, Iris nodded. Dante's hand settled on the small of her back, guiding her toward a black car that looked like it cost more than her entire life. As they drove away from her burning home, Iris caught Dante making a phone call. "Find out who set the fire," he said quietly, his voice like steel. "And when you do, let me know. I'll handle it personally. No one hurts what's mine," and walks away unscathed. He hung up and glanced at Iris. "You all right, love?" "No," Iris said honestly. "But I think I will be." Dante's expression softened just slightly. "Yes," he said. "You will be. I'll make certain of it." Dante's mansion was exactly what Iris expected and nothing like she'd imagined. Yes, it was massive and old and filled with priceless things. But it was also warm. Lived in. There were books scattered on tables, artwork that looked chosen for love rather than value, and photographs on the walls of people she assumed was his family across centuries. Elias met them at the door, took one look at Iris in her pajamas and blanket, and simply nodded. "The East Wing guest room," he said to Dante. "It's already prepared." "You prepared a room?" Iris asked as Dante led her up a sweeping staircase. "I called ahead," Dante said. "I'm impulsive, not unprepared." "There's a difference." The room was beautiful. A massive 4-poster bed, a fireplace already lit, and French doors that opened onto a private terrace. Clothes were laid out on the bed. Women's clothes in exactly her size. How did you? Iris started. I'm very good at estimating, Dante said. And before you protest, they're yours. No strings. No expectations. Just clothes because yours are currently being destroyed by fire. Iris sat on the edge of the bed, the reality of everything crashing down. My entire life was in that apartment. Then we'll build you a new one, Dante said simply. A better one. Why do you care? Iris asked, looking up at him. You don't know me. You don't owe me anything. Dante was quiet for a long moment. Then he sat beside her, close but not touching. When I was young, he began, his voice different now, softer, very young, I had a sister. Her name was Arya. She was gentle and kind and everything good in a world that valued cruelty and strength. My father hated her for it. Said she made our family weak. Iris's breath caught. He killed her, Dante continued, his jaw tight. When she was 16. Made it look like an accident. And I was too young, too powerless to stop him. I was 70 years old and still considered a child by vampire standards. But I made myself a promise that day. That I would never be powerless again. That I would never stand by while someone strong hurt someone vulnerable. That I would become so feared, so brutal, that no one would dare harm anyone under my protection. What happened to your father? Iris whispered. Dante's smile was cold and terrible. I waited. Grew stronger. Built power. And on the 200th anniversary of Arya's death, I killed him. Slowly. I made sure he knew exactly why he was dying. I don't forgive, Iris. I don't forget. And I don't tolerate bullies. He turned to look at her. Your sister reminds me of my father. Cruel because she can be. Diminishing you because it makes her feel powerful. And when I saw you hiding behind that column, trying to be invisible because she'd convinced you that's all you could be, I saw Arya. I saw someone worth protecting. Someone who deserved to be seen. Iris felt tears sliding down her face. I'm not your sister. No, Dante agreed. You're not. Arya was my past. You're my present. And if you'll let me, you'll be my future. I don't understand, Iris said. Dante reached out, wiping her tears with his thumb. I'm saying that in 800 years, I haven't felt this protective of anyone outside my family. I'm saying that you've gotten under my skin in 3 days and I don't know what to do with that except lean into it. I'm saying that whoever set that fire just made the worst mistake of their very short life. You think it was Vivian, Iris said. I know it was, Dante replied. And I'm going to prove it. And then I'm going to make her regret every cruel word she's ever said to you. Don't hurt her, Iris said quietly. Please. She's still my sister. Dante's expression hardened. She tried to kill you, love. I know, Iris whispered. But I've spent my whole life being invisible. I don't want to become someone who answers cruelty with cruelty. That makes me just like her. Dante studied her for a long moment. Then he smiled, something like admiration in his eyes. You're remarkable, he said. Arya would have liked you. Very well. I won't kill your sister. But I will make sure she never hurts you again. That's non-negotiable. Iris nodded, exhausted. Sleep, Dante said, standing. You're safe here. I promise you that. Where will you be? Iris asked. Right outside your door, Dante said. Until I know who else might be involved and why. I'm not taking chances with you. You don't have to do that. I know, Dante said, walking to the door. But I'm going to anyway. It's called caring, Iris. You should get used to it. He paused at the threshold. And Iris? Tomorrow we're going to have a conversation about what you want. Not what you think you deserve. Not what your sister told you to accept. What you actually want. Because I have a feeling you've spent so long being invisible that you've forgotten you're allowed to want things. He left, closing the door softly behind him. Iris lay back on the bed, staring at the ceiling, her mind racing. For the first time in her life, someone saw her. Really saw her. And it was terrifying and wonderful and completely overwhelming. Morning came with the smell of coffee and something baking. Iris woke disoriented, tangled in sheets that were softer than anything she'd ever owned. For a moment she forgot. Then she remembered. The fire. Dante. Everything. She found clothes in the closet that fit perfectly, dressed, and followed the sounds downstairs. The kitchen was enormous, and Dante stood at the stove, cooking. The Vampire King. 800 years old. Making pancakes. You cook, Iris said from the doorway. Dante turned, a smile playing at his lips. I've had 8 centuries to acquire skills, love. Cooking is survival when you live as long as I do. Can't eat takeout forever. Well, I don't eat much anymore, but I remember how. Sit. You need food. Iris sat at the massive kitchen island. Where's your brother? Elias is tracking down proof of your sister's involvement in the fire, Dante said, plating pancakes with surprising domesticity. He's excellent at finding information people want hidden. Family talent. He set the plate in front of her with butter, syrup, and fresh strawberries. Eat, he commanded. Then we talk. Iris ate. She was hungrier than she'd realized. Dante sat across from her with black coffee, watching her with those ancient eyes. Tell me about your sister, he said. How long has she been like this? Iris swallowed. Always. Since we were children. Our parents died when I was 8 and she was 12. We went to live with our aunt. Vivian was beautiful even then. Everyone loved her. I was quiet. Awkward. Aunt Claire used to say Vivian got all the gifts and I got all the leftover parts. Dante's expression darkened. Your aunt said that to you? Constantly, Iris said. Vivian just took it further. She'd introduce me as her unfortunate sister. Tell people I was shy because I had nothing interesting to say. It's been 23 years of being told I'm less than. Eventually you start believing it. And you never fought back, Dante asked. What was the point, Iris said. She was right. I am forgettable. Until you, no one ever noticed me. I noticed you immediately, Dante said quietly. Do you know why? Why? Because everyone else in that ballroom was performing, he said. Trying to be seen. You were the only real person there. The only one not pretending. That's magnetic, Iris. That's rare. Your sister isn't beautiful because of her face. She's polished. There's a difference. You're beautiful because you're genuine. Iris felt heat rise to her cheeks. You barely know me. Then let me know you, Dante said, leaning forward. Stay here. Not just until the investigation is done. Stay. Let me show you what it's like to be seen. To be valued. To take up space without apologizing for it. I can't just stay in your house, Iris protested. Why not? Dante asked. I have the room. I enjoy your company. And selfishly, I sleep better knowing you're safe. Win-win. Despite herself, Iris laughed. You're insane. I'm 800 years old and unkillable, Dante said with a grin that was pure mischief. Sanity is overrated. Besides, my family will love you. Elias already does. He texted me this morning that you have kind eyes and I should try not to scare you away with my intensity. Do you? Iris asked. Have intensity issues? Love, I'm the vampire king, Dante said. I have every issue. Intensity. Control. A pathological need for revenge. An inability to let things go. But I'm also fiercely loyal, an excellent cook apparently, and I've been told I'm moderately attractive. Moderately, Iris repeated, smiling despite everything. I'm being humble, Dante said. It's new for me. How am I doing? Terribly, Iris said. Good, Dante replied. I'd hate to start a new habit. Now finish your breakfast. Then I'm taking you shopping. Shopping? You lost everything in the fire, Dante said. You need clothes. Toiletries. Books. Whatever makes you feel human. And before you argue about money, remember I've been accumulating wealth for 8 centuries. Let me spend it on something worthwhile. I'm not a charity case, Iris said. No, Dante agreed. You're someone I care about. There's a difference. Let me do this, Iris. Let someone take care of you for once. Iris looked at him, this impossible man who'd walked into her life 3 days ago and turned everything upside down. Okay, she whispered. Dante's smile was bright and genuine. Excellent. Fair warning, I'm going to spoil you outrageously and you're not allowed to protest. I'm already protesting. Protest noted and ignored, Dante said cheerfully. Finish eating. We leave in 20 minutes. And for the first time in years, Iris felt something unfamiliar bloom in her chest. Hope. What do you think Iris should do now? Should she let herself trust Dante completely or keep her guard up? Drop your thoughts in the comments because something is about to shift and I want to know if you see it coming. 2 weeks passed like a dream Iris was afraid to wake from. Dante took her shopping. Showed her his library. Introduced her to his family, a sprawling network of vampires who treated her with warmth that felt foreign and wonderful. She laughed more than she had in years. She ate meals at a table surrounded by people who asked her opinions and actually listened. She started to believe. That was her mistake. Vivian came on a Tuesday afternoon. Iris was alone in the mansion, Dante and Elias attending to some business in the city. The doorbell rang and there she was, dressed in white like an angel, her smile soft and apologetic. Can we talk? Vivian asked. Please. I know I don't deserve it, but I need to explain. Iris should have said no. Should have closed the door. But 23 years of habit made her step aside. They sat in the drawing room. Vivian looked around with calculating eyes. He's done well for himself, Vivian said. The vampire king. Quite a catch. What do you want, Vivian? Iris asked. To warn you, Vivian said, leaning forward. I know you think I'm the villain here. Maybe I deserve that. But Iris, I need you to listen. Dante Valerian isn't what you think he is. Iris stiffened. You don't know him. I know his type, Vivian said. I did research after the gala. He does this, Iris. Finds broken women. Showers them with attention and gifts. Makes them feel special. And then when he's bored, he discards them. There have been others. Dozens over the centuries. You're not special to him. You're a project. You're lying, Iris said, but her voice wavered. Am I? Vivian pulled out her phone, showing photographs. Women. beautiful women. Standing beside Dante at various events across decades. He has a pattern, Iris. Vulnerable women. Invisible women. He swoops in, plays the hero, and when the novelty wears off, they disappear. Some of them literally. Iris's stomach turned. He told me about his sister. About why he protects people. His sister, Vivian, laughed. That's his favorite story. Gets them every time. Poor tragic Dante. Saves broken birds because of his dead sister. It's manipulation, Iris. Pure and simple. You're a conquest. A distraction. And when he's done with you, you'll have nothing. Again. Just like always. Why would you tell me this? Iris asked, her voice breaking. You hate me. Why would you warn me? Because despite everything, Vivian said, reaching for her hand, you're my sister. And I couldn't watch this happen without saying something. I've been cruel. I know that. But I'm not heartless. He's using you, Iris. Please see that before it's too late. Iris pulled her hand away, her mind spinning. The door opened. Dante walked in, his expression shifting from pleasant to murderous when he saw Vivian. What are you doing in my house? He asked, his voice dropping to something deadly. Leaving, Vivian said, standing. I just wanted to check on my sister. Make sure she's okay. She looks overwhelmed. Maybe she needs some space. Get out, Dante said. Now. Before I forget my promise not to hurt you. Vivian walked past him, pausing at the door. Think about what I said, Iris. Please. Then she was gone. Dante turned to Iris, his expression softening. Whatever she said, it's lies. She's trying to poison you against me. Is it? Iris asked, standing. Is it lies, Dante? The other women. The pattern. Finding broken people and fixing them until you get bored. Dante's face flickered. There have been others I've helped. Yes. But not like this. Not like you. How am I different? Iris demanded. Tell me. Because right now I feel like an idiot. Like I fell for exactly what she said I'd fall for. The charm. The protection. The too good to be true rescue. Iris, Dante started, reaching for her. She stepped back. Don't. I need to think. I need space. Dante's expression shuddered, something cold replacing the warmth. Space. Fine. If that's what you want. Don't do that, Iris said. Don't shut down. Talk to me. Tell me she's wrong. I shouldn't have to convince you that I'm not a monster, Dante said, his voice hard. You either trust me or you don't. I've given you everything. Opened my home. Shared my past. Protected you. And one conversation with the woman who tried to burn you alive is enough to make you doubt all of it? That's not fair, Iris said. No, Dante agreed. It's not. None of this is fair. I told you I don't forget and I don't forgive. Maybe that applies here too. You want space? Take it. Take all the space you need. He turned and walked out. Iris stood alone in the drawing room, her heart shattering. She'd done it again. Believed the worst. Made herself small. Let Vivian's poison seep in. But what if Vivian was right? What if she was just another broken bird? Dante didn't come back that night. Elias found Iris in the library at midnight, surrounded by tissues and regret. He's at the old house, Elias said gently. The one where we grew up. He goes there when he's hurt. Which isn't often. Actually, I can count on one hand the times I've seen him like this. I ruined everything, Iris whispered. Did you? Elias asked, sitting beside her. Or did your sister do exactly what she intended? Destroy the one good thing you had? She showed me pictures. Other women. Elias sighed. Dante has helped people over the centuries. Yes. Women and men who needed protection. But he never brought any of them here. Never introduced them to the family. Never looked at any of them the way he looks at you. How does he look at me? Iris asked. Like you're the answer to a question he's been asking for 800 years, Elias said. My brother is difficult. Brutal when necessary. Unforgiving to his enemies. But to the people he loves? There is no one more loyal. No one more devoted. He would burn the world for family. And whether you realize it or not, Iris, you became family the moment he decided to protect you. Iris started crying again. I accused him of using me. Yes, Elias said. And that hurt him. Deeply. Because his greatest fear is being seen as the monster everyone assumes he is. When you looked at him and saw that monster, it confirmed everything he's afraid of. What do I do? Iris asked. That's your choice, Elias said. You can leave. Go back to your life. Let Vivian win. Or you can fight for something real. Go to him. Tell him you were wrong. Let him be angry. Let him yell. And then let him forgive you. He said he doesn't forgive. For enemies, Elias said with a small smile. For people who hurt him deliberately. You're not his enemy, Iris. You're the woman he's falling in love with. There's a difference. Iris wiped her eyes. Where's the old house? Elias handed her keys. 20 minutes north. Follow the river road. You'll see it. What if he won't listen? Then make him, Elias said. My brother respects strength. Show him you're strong enough to admit you were wrong. Strong enough to choose him. That's all he's ever wanted, Iris. Someone who chooses him knowing exactly what he is. Iris took the keys. 30 minutes later, she was driving through darkness toward an uncertain future. Toward him. Dante stood on the balcony of the old house, staring at the river below. This was where Arya had died. Where his father had killed her. He came here when he needed to remember why he was the way he was. Brutal. Unforgiving. Feared. Because being anything else got people killed. He heard the car approach. Knew it was her before the door opened. Part of him wanted to send her away. Protect what was left of his battered heart. But a larger part, the part that remembered Arya's gentle smile, the part that still believed in something beyond power and revenge, that part wanted her to stay. Wanted her to choose him. The front door opened. Footsteps on the stairs. And then she was there, standing in the doorway, her face tear-stained and terrified and brave. I was wrong, Iris said. I let her get in my head. I let 23 years of being told I'm worthless make me believe I couldn't possibly deserve something real. But I do. And you're real. And I'm choosing you, Dante. If you'll still have me. Dante didn't move. Didn't speak. The silence stretched. Say something, Iris whispered. Please. Even if it's to tell me to leave. Dante turned slowly. His eyes were dark and unreadable. You hurt me, he said quietly. I've been alive for 800 years and I can count on one hand the people who've managed that. I know, Iris said. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Your sister, Dante said, his voice hardening. She did this deliberately. Came to my house. Used your wounds against you. Tried to destroy the one good thing in your life. I know, Iris repeated. I told you I don't forgive, Dante said. And I meant it. For her. This changes things, Iris. She crossed a line she can't uncross. Dante, Iris started. But you, Dante interrupted, stepping closer. You I can forgive. Because you didn't betray me. You just forgot your own worth for a moment. And that's something I understand. He reached out, cupping her face in his hands. Don't do it again, he said softly. Don't let anyone make you doubt this. Doubt us. I won't, Iris promised. Good, Dante said. Because I meant what I said before. You're mine now. And I protect what's mine. He kissed her forehead, gentle and reverent. Now come inside, he murmured. It's cold. And we have a sister to deal with. Don't kill her, Iris said. Dante smiled, something wicked in it. I won't kill her. But I will make her understand the cost of crossing me. That's non-negotiable. What are you going to do? Iris asked. Nothing permanent, Dante said. Just memorable. She wanted to be unforgettable, didn't she? I'll make sure she never forgets this lesson. Despite everything, Iris laughed. And Dante pulled her inside, into the warmth, into his arms. Into home. 1 month later, the supernatural world gathered for the winter solstice ball. It was even grander than the Crescent Moon Gala, held in Dante's own mansion, and everyone who was anyone attended. But this time, everything was different. Iris descended the staircase on Dante's arm, wearing a gown the color of midnight stars. The same color she'd worn when they first met. Dante had insisted. Full circle, love, he'd said when he gave it to her. Let them see how far we've come. The ballroom fell silent as they entered. Not because of Dante, though he commanded attention as always. But because of the woman beside him. The woman everyone now knew as his chosen. His beloved. His future queen. Vivian was there too. In the corner. Alone. Dante had kept his promise. He hadn't killed her. Instead, he'd done something far worse. He'd told the truth. Every supernatural family now knew what Vivian had done. The arson. The manipulation. The cruelty toward her own sister. In a world that valued loyalty above all else, Vivian had become a pariah. Unforgettable, yes. But for all the wrong reasons. No one spoke to her. No one looked at her. She had become what she'd always made Iris feel. Invisible. Iris almost felt sorry for her. Almost. You're thinking about her, Dante murmured as they walked through the crowd. Is that wrong? Iris asked. No, Dante said. It's kind. It's one of the things I love about you. But don't waste too much energy on her. She made her choices. Now she lives with them. He stopped in the center of the ballroom, turning to face her. The orchestra began to play. The same waltz from that first night. Dance with me, Dante said, offering his hand. Is that a request or a command? Iris asked, smiling. Dante grinned, that wicked humor she'd come to adore lighting his face. With me, love, it's always both. She took his hand. He pulled her close. And they began to move. Around them, the crowd watched. But this time, Iris didn't shrink. Didn't hide. She held her head high and let them see. You're not shaking, Dante observed. No, Iris agreed. I'm not. Progress, he said. I had a good teacher, she replied. Dante spun her, caught her, pulled her close again. His voice dropped to something intimate and serious. I meant what I said all those weeks ago, he murmured. You're mine now, Iris. Not because I claimed you, but because you chose me. And I will spend however many years you give me making sure you never doubt your worth again. However many years, Iris repeated. That could be a very long time. Is that a problem? Dante asked. Iris pretended to think. Well, you are moderately attractive. And an excellent cook apparently. I suppose I could tolerate eternity with you. Dante laughed, genuine and bright, and several nearby guests looked startled. The Vampire King didn't laugh. Everyone knew that. But he laughed for her. I love you, Dante said, the words simple and profound. I've waited 800 years to say that to someone and mean it. I love you, Iris. Iris felt tears prick her eyes. I love you too. Dante stopped dancing. Right there, in the middle of the ballroom, with everyone watching. He cupped her face in his hands and kissed her. It wasn't gentle. It was claiming. It was a declaration. When he pulled back, his eyes were fierce. Let them see, he said, echoing his words from their first dance. Let them all see. And Iris smiled, radiant and unafraid. Let them see, she agreed. From across the room, Elias raised his glass in a silent toast. The family had grown by one. And Dante, the brutal, feared, unforgiving Vampire King, had finally found something he'd stopped believing existed. Love. Real love. The kind worth waiting centuries for. Later that night, when the guests had gone and the mansion was quiet, Dante and Iris stood on the balcony where they'd had their first real conversation. What are you thinking? Iris asked. That my sister would have loved you, Dante said quietly. That she would have been happy I finally found someone worth protecting who protects me right back. Iris leaned into him. Tell me about her. About Arya. Dante wrapped his arm around her, pulling her close. She was gentle, he began. Kind in a world that punished kindness. She used to say that love was the only thing worth living for. I didn't believe her then. I was too young, too angry. But now, he looked down at Iris, now I understand what she meant. Iris reached up, touching his face. You honor her memory. Every time you protect someone vulnerable. Every time you choose love over cruelty. She would be proud of you. Dante's eyes glistened. Something he would never let anyone else see. Thank you, he whispered. For what? For seeing me, Dante said. Not the monster. Not the king. Just me. Iris smiled. That's all I've ever seen. They stood there as the stars wheeled overhead, two people who had found each other against all odds. The overlooked girl and the feared king. The invisible one and the one everyone watched. Together, finally seen. Together, finally home. And in the shadows of eternity, love had won. If you made it to the end of this story, if you felt Iris's pain and Dante's devotion, if you rooted for them through every twist and every doubt, then I need you to do something for me right now. Hit that subscribe button. I know it seems small. One click. 1 second of your time. But let me tell you something. I poured my heart into this story. I stayed up late crafting every word, every scene, every moment that made you feel something. And when you subscribe, when you like, when you drop a comment, you're telling me that it mattered. That the hours were worth it. That I should keep going. So please, don't be the viewer who watches the whole story and then disappears like a ghost. Be part of this family. The fastest growing vampire love stories community on YouTube. We're building something special here, and I want you in it. Drop a comment right now and tell me your favorite moment from this story. Was it the first dance? The moment Dante defended Iris? The final kiss? Tell me. I read every single comment and your words keep me creating. And tell me where you're watching from. I love knowing that this story reached someone in Brazil, in the Philippines, in Nigeria, in Canada, everywhere. It reminds me that stories connect us across oceans. One more thing. If you know someone who needs to hear this story, someone who's ever felt invisible, someone who's ever doubted their worth, share this video with them. Let them know that being seen, being loved, being chosen, it's possible. For Iris. For them. For all of us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching until the end. Thank you for being part of this journey. Now hit subscribe before you go. I'll see you in the next story.